Hi, welcome,
Hi,
Anna. Thank
thank
you
you very much.
for going on live now on my channel. This is very nice of you to talk about your experience working from home, and also you will talk about your experience in general as an expat, which I think will be very interesting for expats who want to also maybe at some point find a career in Switzerland. So to get started, and you feel free in the audience to ask questions. I'll be checking while Anna is talking. So, why don't you introduce yourself, Anna? You know who you are and what brought you to Switzerland.
Great. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Isabel. I think you're doing a great job to um, come up with all these conferences, and I'm a big fan. And we need this optimism and professionals that come forward now and teach us and coach us how to cope with this situation, in which I think a lot of professionals just found themselves overnight. And yeah, I'm looking forward for a interesting set of questions from you. I think many are struggling with kids and spouses at home and a lot of other challenges. So yeah, looking forward to hear your opinions and questions. So yes, my name is Ana Hueni. I'm working for a company called Reisswolf. It's a franchise business in document management, and it's based in Hamburg, Germany. And my company is a market leader in data destruction and the full stream of document management. And in Switzerland, we are in 4 locations, actually. We just opened up in Geneva 1 month ago. So we are in Basel, in Switzerland, in Zurich, in Lucerne, and now in Geneva. And we are also, besides data destruction, which is our strong name, let's say, in data protection, we are also doing digitalization, from scanning to ERPs and DMSs. And I'm sure everybody is working with scan documents and all kinds of platforms to share documents between us, and physical archiving. So that is something that also everybody needs and has in their business, no matter how small it is. And I'm working for Reisswolf since 7 years. I'm occupying the position of business development, and I'm consulting startups and entrepreneurs that want to take a franchise from Reisswolf. And I'm responsible in this moment for like around 20 countries. And that goes from Africa to Caspian region. So it's a lot of countries. I'm doing a lot of traveling, which now it's stopped, of course, and working since 7 years in all kind of locations. I can work from home mostly, so it's a lot of independence in my type of work. So yeah, in previous I was working as a marketing professional for different industries, also like 10 years in marketing and project management in different IT companies.
So, how did you come about to realize that you wanted to be in Switzerland, or how did you find a job in Switzerland?
Yeah, so I was with Reisswolf International in Germany, in Hamburg. I was on a contract with them. I just started in 2013, and it was easy, let's say, because the reason I'm here is because of my husband. And well, we got married in 2014, and the company decided to extend my contract, which was already in place. And they just extended it to Switzerland. As I said, we are present in Switzerland already, so it was not a problem to make this arrangement. And of course, the headquarters of the company is located in Hamburg. So I'm working, as I said, mostly from home and going to the headquarters to see my colleagues few times a month, sometimes one time when we have trainings and meetings more times. So it's pretty convenient for everybody, and that happened, as I said, because we are a multinational that could do that.
So you were relocated to Switzerland with your company from Germany?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's interesting because I explained on this channel that one of the ways to come to Switzerland is to be relocated. And sometimes people try to get a job directly in Switzerland,
Yes.
but it's very difficult with the work permit. So I think it's a better move, in my view, to find a big company just like yours, work, wherever you can in your home country, and then, ask to be relocated. So that's the easiest way. And of course, if you're in jobs like yours where there's needs usually globally, chances are there will be an opening at some point, or a way to be flexible to get you a home office maybe in another country. So
Yes, I agree. It was a difficult process, even if my company was already here and if I already had a contract with them. It was a complicated process that took more than we expected. We just thought like, okay, it's going to be, 1 month, but at the end it was like 4 or 6 months to just go through this period and organize all the paper and understand how we can work through a intermediary company that had to do my declarations here, HR papers. So definitely not the easiest country to relocate, but once the company supports you with that, it's going pretty smoothly, and then you are not having a problem. So you can. I got a permit B, unlimited to work and stay in Switzerland directly. Also because I went there not through my husband but through my work with my company. So then you can end up not having the allowance to work if you go only through marriage. So yeah, it has to be a little bit organized, and the advice of a professional like you is always advisable, actually.
do you have any openings in your company for Switzerland?
I will check. Normally we do. Now with the restrictions, I think it's going to be a bit complicated, but definitely I will ask them and post them through you if that is the case.
Great. So it's always nice to hear.
Thank
So
you very much.
you work from home now?
Yes.
And of course, your company works in, I would say, the digital sphere. So could you share maybe a little bit about, how you work from home, what tools you're using, all this stuff?
Yeah, so I think when you know that this is the way that you have to work, and you have to be available to do your working hours, then somehow it's easy for your brain, and you know how to organize yourself. You make yourself a plan. You set a home office in your house. You buy a comfortable chair. You make sure your kids do not enter, or you organize a program for them. But I was just reflecting, how is it for professionals that just end up doing that out of the blue. And I spoke with a lot of friends these days, and they were telling me it's really hard for them because they have small kids, and the kids have to stay at home as well. They cannot have babysitters there for obvious reasons these days. So I think many people find this challenging, but what I would say it's important is that you take a pen and paper and you set up some goals for yourself. So that would be my advice to start with. And set yourself some limits, like I will work like that, I can make a lunch break then, and not be more liberal in talking to friends and family, because when we are in this environment we tend to look at the time different. So basically you are not in vacation. Of course, you are more flexible to organize your meals and maybe take a walk at noon or whenever you want. But I mean, you don't have to take advantage of this time. So I'm definitely organizing my schedule from morning to evening, and I start up my day by setting the most important 3 things I want to achieve in a day. But I always try to focus at one goal at a time. So that is what the experts recommend, to always have one big goal or one big project in mind. I think the big advantage of working from home is that you don't sit so many times in meetings, and colleagues do not interrupt you all the time. So you definitely have a better time management, in my opinion. Also, what I said about your personal space. So even if we are here stuck with spouses, kids, whoever is in the house, besides this, besides spouse and kids, then you have to set a bit of boundaries. Maybe I'm working from this room and you're working from the other room, because I'm a consultant. I have to talk to people on telephone, and of course it's a bit complicated if I have my kid coming here, and if my husband also has something to do or urgent, maybe we take shifts, in babysitting the kid. I mean, we are in this situation overnight, so we have to find the understanding of our employer, also how to succeed, in working, and also coping up with all the admin stuff that we have to do. So this is another important thing. Maybe take shifts, maybe see how to organize the kids, the small kids especially, because you cannot leave them unsupervised. That's one of the things. Yes, and of course also, buying a comfortable chair, or at least setting up a space where you feel inspired to work, and do not have a mess or improper light. So everything that can hinder you from doing your work should be organized, so that you can have the opportunity to work and to feel like in your office. I mean, everybody knows that we are feeling, we work like in our offices like 8 or sometimes even more hours every day. So you have to feel comfortable. So if you're managing to feel comfortable at work with your colleagues, then you have to create this same atmosphere and comfort also in your own space and in your own office. So that's
Exactly.
another thing.
No, I think it's important. I know for me at least, having things organized. I can't work when
Yeah,
it's messy, and I just have to have things organized. But I can understand that could be an issue if you have kids around, and to keep things organized, and the timing and everything. So you need to find a method that works, basically.
exactly. That's my own point. That's my point also. So that is about the admin stuff. Then about work. Yeah, you asked me about my company and what tools do we have, what tools do we use to be connected. Yeah, considering the social distancing these days, and we use, for example, LiveSize to connect via conference call. We also use Skype for business, not normal Skype. And we use also Zoom sometimes. But life size we use basically for all the video conferencing. You can go to lifesize.com to see there. And I saw, for example, that now they don't impose any kind of payment even for the professional account. So you just start today and you pay in 6 months. And this is not part of my company, but we use it in all the conference rooms. So it's you can call directly in the conference room, for example, to meet your colleagues or the whole team, or you can call. You can create links in life size, and you can have private rooms with different customers, so that you do not, for example, if I have 2 conference calls in a day, and then I have one that is overlapping the other, the next customer doesn't call, and I have the same room, because sometimes people have that, and of course it's not professional, it's not good if that happens. So I think these 3 tools are pretty good. I work with them heavily and I use them. And I find it very nice that a lot of big companies reacted these days because of the coronavirus and offered free of charge tools, Zoom included and LifeSize including. And I saw also that Google announced that also. And you can test and use these tools for companies for free. And at least you have 6 months free of charge, and you can decide for yourself what is good and what fits your own company, your own size, and test it for free for 6 months. I think it's a good bargain, and the positive aspect of this crisis that we are all facing.
So that's for all of them: Zoom, Skype, and the last one.
Life size.
All of them offer the 6 months rebate.
I'm sure about Life Size and Zoom. Yes, I'm not sure about Skype for Business.
Okay.
And I think this is like a continuation of Microsoft, and it's only installed for some kind of professional accounts that are coming connected to your Microsoft accounts. So that is something I'm not in charge of. It just came directly on my laptop installed, so I'm not sure about that. But the other 2, yes, and also about Google. Google has some tools also for companies, and they also announced these days that they are offering it free of charge, like meetups and I don't know, Hangouts. Yeah, Hangouts. This is the tool they announced they are offering for free now.
Great. So this is all very good, resourceful information for people, because individuals are linked to companies. So if you're watching this video and you work for a company and you're trying to find a resource, because everyone is going to be looking for those video conferencing, so it's great that they have this rebate, at least for a while, to get people, also used to working long distance, which is not easy for everybody at the beginning. So I think these are great resources. Any other ones you're using right now that you find extremely useful?
Privately, I'm using a lot of tools. What we are using inside for sharing information, and this is for GDPR reasons and also for security reasons, because when you are working for a company, you have to take care on how you use this information as well, not just, if I'm sharing the kids' schedule with my husband, we can also use Google Drive. But if I'm in the working environment, of course I'm not using unsecure tools, especially tools that are coming from the States, where we all know there are other regulations, not the GDPR. And then inside we are using our own cloud called Reisswolf Fit. So fit like being fit. And this can be also found on our website reisswolf.com. And this is a small cloud that we develop ourselves. And we give it to customers worldwide, starting from 20 euros or so for 10 gigabytes, 10 users. And this allows companies to upload their data from their computer or scan their data directly into this program. And then you have the possibility to create workflows between employees and share documents with customers that have this program installed or do not have it installed. And also a big advantage is that it has integrated OCR. So basically you can read and find everything in a few seconds. And we have now a lot of languages installed, like 20 languages or so. So we have this program going, I think, in 30 countries, 20 languages. It's very, very useful, very convenient, let's say, for all kinds of small and big companies. And this is what we are using now inside to share confidential information. So this is definitely something I would recommend. A lot of companies also use SharePoint, which is also coming pre-installed with Microsoft. Yeah, and there you can also have this space on a server, and you can share documents between yourself. And of course, you have to connect to the company server from distance through special secure devices. So like Net Extender or other secure tools. And I know many companies are offering this to their employees, also special computers to log in. So I'm not using my own computer, I'm using my company computer when I log into our server. And then we can all share and edit information and documents. And as I said, for us, it's very important to share information and to work also in a secure environment, so not just sharing information on Google Drive or on Dropbox, yeah, because this is not a private cloud. Yeah, it's a cloud that at the end of the day the hackers can find and break this or take this information and use it for their own purposes. So basically what I would advise is that you also think about security and GDPR before sharing your company information or customer information or employee information in an unsecure way.
I think this is great recommendations. We have to remember that the GDPR, especially now that people's ways of working will be different. They still have to respect the law, and they will have to include this in their process, basically.
Yeah.
So another question I wanted to ask you: which pitfalls would you avoid when working from home, basically, to succeed?
Yeah, so as I said, time management is very important, and setting boundaries for yourself. So not answering all your calls all the time. So understanding when do you want to answer emails, when do you want to work on projects, and allowing your kids or husband to disturb you all the time, because being at home, it doesn't mean that you're available. And this is something I was facing also when I started working from home. Yeah. And making my family understand that if I'm working at home, doesn't mean that I'm available. I'm not there to do housework all the time. Of course, you're doing it, but you're not available all the time to answer all the questions. We all know how kids are. Mommy, do I do that? Do I do the other? So definitely it's also important to work up a plan with your spouse and see how you can manage kids discuss it with your employer, because it's something that we are all facing in this moment. The kindergarten is no longer open. The schools are no longer open. You can not have your parents, which are old, and some have all kind of disease at home, taking care of the kids. You don't know if your neighbors are safe, if they are ill or not. I had many friends that found out overnight that they were working near colleagues that were exposed to, or that were positively tested for coronavirus. So definitely you don't know who is infected or not. So we have to respect the recommendations of the authorities and limit the exposure of neighbors and everybody. Yeah, and maybe you heard, maybe you didn't, more than 5 people in one place. Yeah, otherwise you get a penalty. So it's our responsibility to try to stay at home and to avoid this personal contact, even if it's complicated, and try to manage the situation as it is together with the family, with the small or extended family that you have in your household.
Exactly.
So time management is really, really important. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
So what type of projects, so let's say you're a home office worker, whether it's for your independent business or for a company, what type of things do you think would be ideal to do at this stage? Now we're going to be home for a while. I think it's going to be more than a few days. So what would be ideal projects to take on or activities to take on that maybe you wouldn't do in the regular normal situation?
Yeah, so what we are doing right now is we are concentrating more on projects, so less on doing transporting, for example, aluminium containers or exchanging aluminium containers at the headquarters of the companies, because we are now since 2 weeks at home. Yeah, so companies are either have either reduced their activities or not working at all. So basically the drivers are really limited on the streets right now. So we are not focused on operations anymore, but rather on doing projects. Of course, the people that can do projects here. So we all have all kind of projects that we are postponing. Content, for example, creating content for the customers would be something. Something else is making procedures, operational procedures, catching up with administration work, doing our bills and credit cards receipts. I know I'm guilty here. I'm always behind with these, organizing my emails, even creating folders to have everything easier, reducing my own cloud content. I mean, you can do really a lot of stuff. You can do trainings. Like tomorrow, I have a day full of training in digitalisation. It's another provider that we have for scanning documents and organizing metadata and doing all kind of interesting stuff for our customers. So this is something that we are preparing to do this year as well. So we have really a lot to do, and it's good to have. I think it's refreshing to do a little bit of a different kind of activities these days. And I think if we manage to see the bright side of things, like it's just a different period. I have time for, breathing, for taking a walk, for taking it a bit lighter, to, connect to with my customers, maybe not directly, but connecting through video. not just through phone, and seeing a friendly face, then the social distancing is maybe not so bad. So, but definitely try to take on the bright side of things and just doing what you can do. I think it would be very helpful from my
I hope you're able to share some of these tips with people that are trying to know what to think with their time, what to do with their time, basically.
Yes.
So who are your ideal customers, or are you targeting companies mostly? Is it small business?
Yes, so our customers are both our franchisees. Franchisees mean and then customers. So franchisee means entrepreneurs that are interested to start a business in physical records management. So basically, this means having a warehouse where they can put documents and shelves, of course. Then we teach them how to take care of the security, what kind of shelves and documents, document software to purchase. Basically, we just teach them how to do that. The same for digitalization. Small entrepreneurs or companies that are already in physical records management and want to diversify their business, or they are in moving and they want to go to data destruction. Yeah, because when you are a company doing moving, you always have documents to handle or documents to store from companies moving all the time. And normally when companies are moving, they see how many documents they have left behind besides furniture and other stuff, and they don't want to take these documents with them. So they just give it to the mover companies and they say, can you just hide them or do something? I don't want to carry them with me. Look how many I have. And then these moving companies are just finding themselves overnight to have this extra problem to take care of, and they don't know how to organize these documents. They have to find suddenly boxes. Not all the boxes are fitted for this activity. You have to think about work security. I cannot lift heavy lifts with my employees. Security, where do I put them? How do I organize it? What does the legislation say? So then these people are coming to us and they are asking us for consultancy. And from the consultancy, we reach the phase where we ask them, wouldn't you like to diversify your business and go on this business? I mean, these are the fees. We offer consultancy for life. We offer softwares for your business to support your business. And in 6 months maximum, they are ready to do the business by themselves. So this is how normally it goes.
This is great. This is also an opportunity, you say franchisee.
Yes.
So I'm thinking in this time of transition where a lot of people might be stuck and not know what to do, this could be a great opportunity also to start. I mean, it seems like you just need space and a bit of consulting from you, and it could be a great business opportunity, because I do get questions sometimes here on this channel about business opportunities in Switzerland and starting a business and all that stuff. So it seems like, considering this will always be a need because companies will always have a lot of documents, so it's not going away anytime soon. Seems like a very reasonable
opportunity. Yeah. It is, and in Switzerland, we are still looking for digital and physical archiving partners. Basically in all locations, because the current partner is just doing the physical the data destruction part. They chose to do that because they are integrated in a recycling company, in a French recycling company. So they just want to stay like that, to keep their core business like that. So as I said, if somebody in your network would be interested about this opportunity, of course they can contact me. And again, thank you for the opportunity to present that to your network.
Yeah, this is great that on this channel I get to encourage networking. Obviously, this is a big part of what I do. So bringing basically people together to create synergies and opportunities, I think makes sense. So I really appreciate that. Is there anything else that you would like to, put forward or share with the audience?
Yeah, about job searching, I think you mentioned a few. That it's good to look for ways on how to enter the country without coming here unprepared and try to organize everything by yourself. This is not easy. And another opportunity would be to start a business, of course, to demonstrate you have ties with Switzerland. And this could be also through opening your own business first, in order to prove that you are capable of doing things, to become your own master, let's say. Yeah, so maybe that is also a way, because there are a lot of expats that come here, and they have a lot of they have a higher education. Basically, they have a lot of experience, especially women that are coming here relocating with husbands. They find themselves overnight in a country that is not very friendly with expats, and they have really a lot to give. And because of the languages, sometimes, or other factors, you are an expert here, so you know definitely more than me. They do not have the opportunity to find a job as quickly as they want. So another way is to just start your own business, even if it's small at the beginning, even if it's something that needs to grow with time. This is definitely a way to have a job opportunity in Switzerland. Yeah, to just start doing what you are an expert in, and do not wait for a company to offer you a job, but to take the lead and try to create that job opportunity for yourself.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of this as a solution. I know it's not easy for everybody, because if you've been used your whole life to working for a company, and it's a transition. It's mental mindset also that needs to be different to start. So I think there's a lot of anxiety around starting a business in a country where people don't really know the rules necessarily, or also just the financial part as well, because starting is easy, but then you need to have customers and so forth, and usually people don't have a network in the country. So it's not an easy thing, but I tell people that it's a better opportunity in the longer run,
Yes.
because you're building something for yourself that's going to stay with you. Whereas if you work for a company, well, maybe at some point you end up getting a job, but it could be a few months, maybe 6 months opportunity, and then you end up having to look again. And then you go for another short-term opportunity, and you don't really build anything. You just accumulate different opportunities. It becomes harder to sell because you have all these different things that don't really necessarily connect together. So it becomes harder and harder to sell. Whereas if you take the time to build something solid based on your experience, and there's a lot of information out there, including what I do with my business, teaching people how to find a job, how to create a business. So there's lots of information out there to help people basically take their autonomy in hands, to say, I can do this. I can be my own resource, basically, because the market keeps changing, and trying to chase the market becomes in the end harder than to just go and build your own thing. So it's a harder pain. I think in the short term, it's a harder pain because building a business is not easy. But in the longer run, I think people see the difference. They see that it's more valuable in the end, because whatever you build, you keep with you. Company you don't control. The company can tell you tomorrow, hey, we're laying off people and you're gone. and then you have to go and scramble to find something again. Chances are other companies are not hiring. So you see, for me, it's just a bigger problem in the end, I think.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that came to Switzerland, started looking for a job. They gave up in 6 months and they started their own practice. Like, I have friends that are doing massage therapy, mindfulness with classes once a week. I have friends that are doing consultancy for, like you're doing, finding a job, or coaches, or yoga, or all kind of stuff that you can do by yourself that doesn't mean a lot of investment. Also, digitalization means basically renting or starting even from home with a scanner, and having maybe less than 100 square meters, maybe one person that can support you for the beginning with maybe 2 hours, something very flexible, and you grow as get customers, get work. And the software, you can start with even free tools. So definitely, if you have ideas, if you see the opportunity, and you are willing to work this 8 hours a day, as you are working, as you would work for an employer in Switzerland, and even I think more, because Switzerland as a premium market is a lot of pressure in performing. I think everybody can succeed here, and definitely I find your conferences and advice is very, very useful to get ideas about your own strengths, and what you can do as a professional, to get started, and to motivate yourself to get out of the house, to find customers, to connect with people, to finally do something. And I think it's better than just waiting and get rejection after rejection and so on.
Yeah, and I hope with these conferences that I'm doing online with home office is that also a lot of people will start watching people who have succeeded in whatever they're doing and say, you know what, this could be me as well. I could actually start something, language teaching, coaching, all
Exactly.
kinds of things, and I could be succeeding in Switzerland. So it doesn't need to be something big. It can start as something
Exactly.
small, even part-time. But it's just getting, slowly in the motion of doing one thing after another and after another, and that's how you build something. Because I think people are a little bit overwhelmed. They're like, oh, creating my own job in Switzerland, and they see all the things that you have to do, but everything starts with just a small thing. It could be just starting a blog. It could be just putting yourself up online. I tell people, do a profile online in one of those platforms, which, by the way, my video called Get a Job in Switzerland in 48 Hours, that's exactly what I'm teaching people, is to say, go out there, create yourself a profile. You could be in Switzerland working online on one of those platforms, selling your
Exactly.
social media skills, your PR skills, your if you're tech, it's in demand right now. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else, and you just get paid, maybe even in dollars, because it depends. Some of those platforms, they pay you in dollars and not in Swiss francs, but it gets you started, and so you don't need to wait for a company to offer you something. There's lots of ways now where people can make money online and do their own business and succeed, basically, without the permission of a company.
Exactly. What I noticed also is that LinkedIn started to offer all kind of courses also free of charge right now. And they also give you a diploma, certificate that you earn at the end of the course. Of course, there is a so-called exam, so you answer some questions that were discussed during the course. So if you pay attention, you definitely earn that diploma. You just put it on your profile, and it helps you because you learn something new. You use your time differently. Also, Coursera offers a lot of courses, and you can specialize yourself in something that is required, a skill that you can use in Switzerland. Yeah, this is the country of banking, of marketing of everything that is required nowadays as specialization. And then you are able to maybe change your profile, maybe do something, even if you're mom of a young child, you can work from home, you can do content marketing, or all kind of IT stuff, IT applications, which are highly requested nowadays. So definitely there is a lot to be done.
Exactly. And again, it doesn't have to be something huge. It could be just trying
Mm-hmm.
one small thing. And this one small thing that you're very good at will lead into something else that will lead into something else. And I know also some people who received job offers in Switzerland because they had something to showcase. They had built a website for themselves, they had built a blog or something that
Mm-hmm.
was interesting, and they were contacted by companies who said, hey, why don't you come and do this for us? So that's how you showcase your skills, rather than to just send a resume and hoping and praying that someone will pick it up and give you an interview. So the more proactive approach is to say, let me build something, do something that I know how to do very well, or social media, or writing a very good piece of information on a blog article, and then you get traction to this information, and maybe a company contacts you that way because you're doing exactly what they need. So it's more efficient to actually show what you can do than to say it on a resume where it's just a piece of paper. And most of the time, from my experience, and again, I'm not talking for everybody, but people showcase skills that they don't really have, or maybe they
Mm.
just have a small varnish of the skill, meaning that they were exposed to it, or maybe they worked with a colleague on it, but they don't really master the skill.
Mm-hmm.
And a good example of that is campaigns on social media.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've seen this for myself. People will say, oh, I can run a campaign on social media. And when you interview them, you realize that they don't really know the details. So they haven't really done it mechanically. So
Wow.
it's better to have knowledge and to have done it, even if it's as a volunteer. To say, I need to actually learn this thing. I need to know how to do a Facebook campaign. So I'm going to offer you, the campaign, just to see the results. And then this is something that I can actually say on my resume that I manage very well, rather than to just take a course. Because in a course, you just get the structure. So it's great to take the course to get started, but at some point you need practice. So this is something that I would also give as a recommendation, is to actually not just take the course, but to practice the skill. And that's why I
Mm-hmm.
encourage people to be active. And this is another way also to showcase your skills to get hired.
It's true, yeah, yeah. What I did actually when I came to Switzerland is to go back to school. I went to HSC Lausanne and I did an executive MBA for 1 year and a half. And there I had the opportunity first to enhance my network with 150 professionals that were my colleagues from both APFL and HSC Lausanne. So that was one of my goals, and that was achieved. And the second was to acquire a Swiss diploma, which is both good for um, changing my profile. I wanted to showcase that I could do consultancy, I could do business cases and work with figures, and my profile was missing that. So that was another achieved goal. And then I had the opportunity to do two big projects together with or supervised by my professors. And I could use that to get my diploma, of course, and to do a major research on the Swiss market. And one was exactly for the digitalization market, and to learn more about the digital market in Switzerland. And basically the companies are really open to talking to you. So I could meet with Suica, with Zurich insurances, with many companies that normally do not open the gates for you. But when you are doing an interesting projects and they are interested to learn about your findings, they are willing to have a face-to-face interview with you and to tell them, how are we doing this? How are we dealing with this issue? Do we have a software? How do we do it by ourselves? What is our best practice? Then you can compare and you can even give them the results if that is something that they ask for. So you can have a very interesting way to enter the company that you are targeting, or the companies that you are targeting, or the industry that you are targeting, by showing that you can do it and you are able to do a market research, or you are able to do something that you actually have planned maybe 2 years in advance, but at the end of the 2 years you have achieved your goals, you can show your work, and maybe that is interesting for many people, for yourself, for your future career, and you can prove that you have done something really significant. And yeah, as you said, it's something that I would also recommend to all
That's
the
a very good,
professionals here.
yeah, that's very good advice if you're studying for a degree or something
Mm-hmm.
like this, to actually come across it. It gives you an entryway basically as a researcher. Or I know, for example, a lot of people have contacted me since I started working for my own business as a market survey basically. So it's a great way, because usually when people send you a message saying, I'm a student, I'm doing research and I need to interview you, I would say probably 90% of people will say no problem, because they want to
Mm-hmm.
help people get their degrees and they want to help their research.
Yes.
So it's giving a hand also to students. So it's a great way to have an excuse, so to say, to connect with a company, and then you can keep those names. And I think probably where people need help, especially if they're students and they do this, because you do need to do this for your degree and for your paper, is maybe then they're not able to stay in connection with those contacts to get more, or to try to maybe get an informational interview, or do an interview as we're doing right now, or something like this,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can get a little bit more information on the organization and how they can maybe find a common interest, something like this. So I think students maybe don't use this example that they have, this opportunity that they have when they do their research, to
Mm-hmm.
maybe master the skills of networking a little bit more.
Yes, making being a part of an alumni community like HSL Lausanne is also a big opportunity, because normally executive education offers you the chance to be in contact with other professionals and keep this liaison after you graduate by being a part of the alumni community. Of course, this means maybe once a month you have to go 2 hours to have a drink with these people and update themselves about your career, about your goals. There are many people that are coming just because they are looking for a job. And of course, they are just coming maybe once or twice, and then they are disappearing. What I would advise people looking for a job is to really make a habit in being present in these meetings, or finding your own hobby or people or tribe that you're interested in to connect. Even through meetup, there are a lot of people meeting to write together for a book, or to practice some languages. And then if you are keeping together, if you're keeping in touch with these people, they might and if you're honest about what you're looking for, like, I'm looking for a job, I'm looking to acquire this skill, I'm looking to have a chance to be introduced to your management because I'm interested in your company for this reason and for the other, people are really open to help you. But if you are just there once and then you're disappearing, this opportunity will not be there. So definitely Switzerland is like, you have to really be interested and to show me that you're interested, to be really resilient about what you're doing. So
Yeah.
not just trying once and then disappearing.
So nurturing relationships, basically.
Yes, yes, yes. So I'm really happy to be a part of the alumni community, and I'm even one of the organizers in Zurich of our alumni community, and we are organizing branches and doing a lot of stuff. And I think a lot of schools here are doing the same for their alumni. I mean, there are also meetings for women, for career around the women. All the courses are in English, so I think everybody has the chance to do that and develop their own skills and get out more from all kind of from this kind of path in integrating yourself in Switzerland.
Yeah, after the confinement is over, we can all go back and meet.
Yes. But now everything is online. Yeah, even the courses.
Well, I do encourage also networking online right now. I mean, if people have LinkedIn, or I've been doing most of my networking online recently, and it's not as easy to nurture those relationships online, but it's good, for example, for first meetup online and meet and greet, for example, and then you can always follow up at some point with to meet in person, for example.
Yes, for sure. I promise to be in your meetings in Zurich when we are allowed to meet again.
Exactly, when we can go back out. Well, it was great to hear all this wonderful information. I think, wow, that was so much, in 1 hour. Very filled with resources in terms of tools to use when you work from home, and information about your career and how to do like you, to have a career in Switzerland. I think people will appreciate that. Feel free to post some comments below when you watch this video. Maybe some people will watch at different times of days. So feel free to post a comment. If it's a question, I will post your LinkedIn profile as well if people want to contact you to get more information on your organization, for example. Definitely that will be posted in the video. And it was great to talk to you.
Thank you very much. I'm so grateful for your time, for your invitation, and keep on doing what you're doing. It's just great and super, super useful for me, for everybody, I guess. So well, thank you very, very much once more.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.